change that music, but I'm kind of digging it. It's just what's on the StreamYard thing. Hey, welcome back, family. Timo Hana here. I'm your host, Rich, and we're here for the Cover Price Top 20 for March. Yeah, we're already done with the first 2 months already. March 3rd, 2025. Some interesting books on the list, some repeat offenders, and of course, some brand new stuff. And of course, a lot of the stuff that popped up at, unexpectedly on last week's list and the week before and the week before and the week before has, of course, disappeared this week. Those one-hit wonders that we'll never see again. All right, so what we're going to do is going to go through the top 20 that shows on CovrPrice. This list is inspired. By the way, JP's Budget Collecting does his list. He's always done the Comic Tom / CBSI list. And I said, hey, nobody's doing the CovrPrice. I might as well do that one. So I have to give him full respect, though. It's his originality for doing this. And I just have a little bit of fun doing this list as well. At the end, I'm going to pick a boom and a bust, and the one that I think has the best chance to go up, or at least the least chance to go down if all 20 go down, and the one that I think is the absolute worst investment at current price on this list. So we're going to take a break at the halfway point so I can give my little ad saying thank you to all the supporters of the channel. But so far, we've already got 25 Perez already checked in. How's it going, dude? Robert Monroe, of course. Robert, good evening, Rich, and the Coconut family. Good evening to you too, sir. All right, coming in at number 25, a character / universe that we don't usually see on the top 20, which is actually really nice to see. We've got Radiant Black, number 31. This is a 125 foil, first appearance of Jaeger. And the only reason I know how to pronounce that is because of Meister. And that is a really cool cover. I got to give a lot of credit on that. But the Radiant Black readers, fans, they're very, very devoted, but they're also not as widespread as a lot of them are. Dagger Cards checking in. Yo, Rich, I'll be sending you a special thank you VIP message. Well, I appreciate that. How's it going up in Canada? Have you gotten a chance to get any miles out on that bike of yours, sir? Kenneth Bird also checking in. Hi to everyone who is here tonight, and hello to you, Kenneth, in Virginia. How are you? So let's see what we got for prices. And when I say this is a 1 in 25 variant, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen this book, but that in a foil, I bet you that does look really, really nice. I'm not a big foil fan, but if done right, they're cool. Raw sale, highest known, February 14th was $60, and the most recent sale was $28. For a 1 in 25, that's right about ratio. So it's not, it's not like kicking down any doors or anything. But like I said, the Radiant Black fan base is not super large, but they're extremely dedicated to the book. So it kind of reminds me of like Sonic the Hedgehog. Their books, just going to catch up here real quick. OSAC, that is a cool cover. Yeah, absolutely. I believe that. I am staying warm. I finished my dry February and push-up challenge last month. Oh, cool. Congratulations. The Sonic the Hedgehog books, the variants that go up in price and appear on the hot list, if it goes up to $25, it doesn't crash all the way down to 10. It never does. So the same kind of effect, I believe happens to the Radiant Black books. Well, it may not shoot up to 100. If it's selling for 28 now, it's probably going to settle around 22 to 25. It'll hold some value, most of its value anyway. I started a 10K step challenge this month. I'll be getting on the bike again and hitting my goal of 5,000. Oof. In 2025. Awesome. So yeah, and if you guys want to support Dagger Cards and his bike challenge, make sure that you check out, where is it? Right there. Boom. It's the greatcyclechallenge.ca, and you can find David Grass as the writer. And it's for kids with cancer. I mean, definitely that's a cause that we want to help support. And, just like Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics with comics curing cancer, we want to kick it in the nads. All right. So Radiant Black, though, I think I don't think it's going to go up. I think it's going to come down slightly. Keep your eye open for it. Remember that foils, you have a chance of getting a nice 9.9. So be really, really critical in your grading picks on that. Okay, next up we have Spawn issue number 1. I didn't even look at the price on this to see where we are. We already know the first appearances and everything else, and the fact that it was it like 3 million copies made. Oh, I see a downward arrow. Da, 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 da. Most recent sale. Wow, look at this. The 9.8 is now down to 120. Now, see, I said this one is kind of cyclical. It'll go up, it'll go down, it'll slowly keep up with inflation. 120 is about the lowest I've seen a 9.8 in a while. I think it was hitting more like 145 just a couple weeks ago. So if you are in the market to get a Spawn number 1 in a 9.8 or near mint selling for 26, this might be a decent time to look for it. Okay. I mean, it's like I said, it's not going to put your kids through college, but it'll never lose all its value. Ah, there's my boy. The book is my boy. Next on the list is the one that should go side by side if you have him on the on your wall. It's Venom Lethal Protector issue number 1. And what's funny is I don't own this in a 9.8. I think I only have a 9.6. So let's see what the price is and see if I'm going to start shopping for it. I see a trending upward arrow. $100 even for a 9.8. So that's also down from FMV. Near mint selling for 25. Near mint plus a few days ago. Well, again, I don't trust those near mint plus listings. Looks like 25 is what a near mint is going for, but a very fine going for 27. So if you'd like to buy an inferior book for more money, this is the one to go for. But you're almost under the $100 mark for a 9.8 slab Venom Lethal Protector. And that is a foil book too. And that one also does look really, really cool. So that's another one you might want to start adding to your shopping list. This is a book I think you need to avoid even now. Moon Knight number 1 from 1980. I don't think there was a newsstand version of this, was there? Got a Swedish, a Spanish, a facsimile, UK price. No, there was no newsstand. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I stand corrected. We have 9.8s up to 300. Wow, really up? No. 9.6 is also up to 125. Near mint selling for 45. Near mint plus selling for 70, but that's back in December. So let's pass that one. Even the raw here, 223, 227. The only recent sale from the last week really is from 9.6 at the 125, which is still above FMV. The reason I say to avoid this one right now is the news coming out, the leaked news, it's not official, is that Moon Knight season 2 is being scrapped. At least for the time being, it's being put on the shelf. It does not mean it's the end of the Moon Knight character in the MCU. We may see him in like Midnight Suns or something. Not, I don't think you're going to see him in Secret Wars, but you're going to see something ground level, street level that may incorporate the character, but I don't think he's going to get his own series season 2. And when that news becomes more mainstream, more common, or verified rather, this book is going to dive in price. Next up, we have the Absolute Batman, the Jugada, regular issue number 1. See, now we have 9.8s now, $91. They've broken under the $100 mark. The near mints are still doing pretty good at $30. So, but if you want a nice 9.8 graded, you're starting to see those books drop kind of like the Spider-Boy books. These lasted longer. Didn't last as long as Absolute Spider-Man, or Ultimate Spider-Man, sorry. But doing a pretty good job. And it's funny, 9.6 from a week earlier was 89. So now a 9.8 at 91. This might be, again, another time to start looking for this book, but I think we're not done with this one coming down. I'm seeing 80s next week and Ultimate finishing up around the $70 to $75 mark. It's just too many copies. Next up, one of the 2 Mark Spears Monsters books on this list, and they're both limited exclusives and both awesome covers. I got to say, they both are awesome. This one... Look, a lot of the Mark Spears monster books have just awesome covers. I prefer the ones that are not homages, but this one's really cool. I mean, it's supposed to be a Jaws homage, but let's be honest, that's size wise, that's more like the Meg. But still beautiful cover, detail in the shark, the water lines and everything, the lighting. Oh, the talent that went into that. I got to give it a lot of respect. And this funny thing is, it's actually trending a little bit down. This is limited to 450 copies. Let's see what we got here. 9.8 pre-sold in January for 164. It's the only sale that I see. No, there's another one that says 159. It has to be before January. Okay. But the near mints are selling for 130, and that's recent, 227. Okay. So if it's 130, you're not going to get a 9.8 for 164. Let's be honest about that. It's known enough. The one thing I think that's hurting it is even though it's a first print and limited to 450, it's still issue 3. I'll explain that one more later in the countdown. But see, I'm not only a Mark Spears fan, I'm also a Jaws fan. I mean, like if this was an homage to Godzilla, forget it, it'd be through the roof. I think when the Mark Spears hype drops, this is going to go down a bit in price. But I don't know about the 164 and a 98. I think eventually that's actually going to be a higher number. So I'm thinking the raw is going to drop down under 100, and I think the 9.8 is going to finish up closer to 180, 185 in the long run. So take from that what you will. Okay, next up, we have another Mark Spears, but this one is the Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 18. Now, this is the regular cover A. It's just that Mark Spears happened to do the cover. This book came out a year ago and went nowhere until Mark Spears Monsters came out. And then people were like, oh, I have to buy Mark Spears books. Why? You didn't want it before Monsters. The contents of the book didn't change. The cover art looks the same as it did last March. You're noticing it more, I guess. I mean, it is a really cool cover with the Violator. I got to get, his use of color is great. But when the hype drops, this is going to be one of the first ones to drop down. 9.8 sold last August for $36. That tells you the hype, the interest that was in this book. A 9.8 was $36 last August. Now, near mint raws are selling for 15, and I guarantee you people are sending these in to get graded. I wonder what these Mark Spears book will be worth in 5 years. I think a select few will have some pretty good value. I think it also depends upon what Mark Spears turns into. If he turns into McFarlane and Momoko, Peach Momoko, and Art Germ, and somebody who has an ongoing good career and people look forward to his art, these books can hold some pretty good value. If he turns into a flash in the pan and just disappears, and I don't want to use this as an example, and I want to make sure you guys see my face so you understand. I love this person's art right now to this day. But when was the last time you saw a Jenny Frison cover explode? And she's not a flash in the pan. She's a great artist. But people aren't hyped on it like, oh, Jenny Frison, oh, Rose Besh. You don't see people freaking out over a lot of these covers as they're coming out. Even Art Germ, people are just kind of used to it. So, well, it depends on how they continue to keep themselves in the limelight. But it's a really good question, though. So, I think this book is going to be one of the first ones to come down because it was worthless before Monsters, and that's like I said, the content has not changed, and it wasn't worthless, but you know what I'm saying. All right, next up we have this one is let's I think for the third or fourth week in a row now, the Daredevil issue 227 direct edition. This is the part 1 of Born Again. I'm not going to bother talking about Kingpin discovers Daredevil's identity because in the MCU/Netflix that happened seasons ago. But we are on the eve, the precipice of Daredevil Born Again coming out tomorrow. Unless you're watching this on the replay, which might point out might be today. So Oh man, I am so psyched about this. I have watched a couple of the reviews, because they're not allowed to or not reaction, not review, because they can't do a review because they can't talk about scenes or anything else like that. They're under a gag order, but they can just give their reactions. And some people have actually been given all 9 episodes to watch. Lucky bastards. Anyway, a couple of the people that I have watched reactions for in the past, and I tend to agree with what they say. Um, Said that they went into this with really, really high expectations, probably unfairly, and the show exceeded them. I am more hyped for watching this show than I was for going to see Endgame. Please, Marvel, don't let me down. I mean, I'm starting to feel a little misty eyed right now. Okay, please. I'm starting to think that we need to just avoid all the movies that come out in the movie theater and just stick with Marvel Television because they seem to do it. Except Secret Invasion, that was horrible. Now, as far as this book, I like this book. I would love to have this book, but you know that this is the absolute highest point of when it's going to be worth something. Even if they make well, if they've already started filming the next season of Daredevil, they're not going to call that season Born Again. That'll be something else. It'll be a different storyline. Well, actually, it's basically part 2 of season 1. They cut it down from 18 episodes to 9. Anyway, we've already got a trend going downwards. FMV of a 9.8 was 216, last sale 200, 9.6 80, last sale $68. Near Mint's FMV 20, last sale 16. Near Mint Plus 46, last sale 38. You see, these are already trending downwards, and they're going to continue because the highest point of interest has already passed. This may get a little bit of a boost when the reviews really start dropping. It may kick out again in as far as price. I don't know how much the storyline actually follows the comic book. I mean, we got the Fraction run in there. Sorry, not Fraction. Zdarsky. Is it? Now I can't remember which run it was with Muse. I think this book is going to come down over the next couple of weeks, maybe see a little bit of a mid-season bump when people really like the show, then go back down again. And in the long run, I think the 9.8s are not going to go too much lower than where they're at right now because it is an almost 40-year-old book. So maybe it'll hit 175, 180, but I don't think it's going to go much lower than that if you're looking for a 9.8. I don't see it going below that just because of its age. And it is a really cool cover. I would love to have like D'Onofrio signature here, you know. And he is on the signing circuit, so that is a possibility. Okay, so we got 2 more and then the midway point. Another book that's on its way down is issue number 1 of Hulk from the McGinnis run, 2008. It's the first appearance of Red Hulk. And 9.8 in December 2021 hit 600. Right now we are at 213, which has dropped down from its FMV of 232. So already sold for $20 less than FMV. 9.6 FMV 117 selling now for 101. Near Mint's 50 selling for 46. Near Mint Plus 65 selling for 56. Even Very Fine's 37 selling for 35. They're starting to drop down. We may see Red Hulk again somewhere in the future, maybe even in Secret Wars. I think that they did the story the way they did in Captain America, and I'm not going to spoil it just in case you haven't seen it and you're waiting for it to stream. I think they did it in a way that leaves the path open in the future, but doesn't show definitively that it will happen. They left that door cracked open. And I personally don't think, unless they take the time to actually do the character right, that they should bring it back. So I think this book is going to continue to fall. Number 11, we have Invincible, issue number 61, first appearance of Conquest. Anybody here, are you watching Invincible, the series? It's something I have never read. I have never watched. I'm sorry. This is from 2009. This book continues to go up. We had the FMV of 338. Now the last sale of a 9.8, 442. 9.6, 180 selling for 200. Raws, we got 114 for a near mint, selling that for 110. Now, I will preface it by saying that the 9.8 and 9.6 were last week, like Thursday and Friday. And the near mint plus 145 selling for 145. We are that sale at that 9.8 was 442, was the highest this book has ever sold. And this book is from 2009. So this is even higher than the 2021 pricing, the pre-COVID pricing. Again, I'm assuming, please correct me if I'm wrong, that Conquest is a character in the Invincible series, or he has been revamped in the new comic books or something. And the question is, will this interest in him extend beyond whatever season of Invincible we're in? You know what I mean? So we have to take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, what happens if at the end of this season of Invincible, this Conquest character is eliminated? I don't know. I doubt it. But I can't state specifically what is driving this book, but me, I don't have enough of an interest myself to go researching it. I'm going to tell you the truth on that. There's enough other books that I want to add to my collection that I haven't gone crazy looking for it and finding out why is it so high. Sorry, but anyway, we have reached the midway point, and as always, I want to take a moment to say thank you to all our YouTube members, not just subscribers, but members, the people that have joined up and said, thank you for putting out the content. They want to join the family and chip in a little bit extra to try to help cover the books and the shipping and stuff like that we do, and as well as our Patreon members. If you'd like to join either one, of course, the YouTube member is easy by just checking down below this video. You get early access to all pre-recorded information. And if you'd like to join our Patreon group, the link for Patreon is in the description, at which point we get together once a month and just chat and enjoy each other's company for about an hour. And I give away a couple extra comic books for everybody, and we just have some fun. Okay, so this is my way of saying just thank you to everybody, and stick around. We're going to be back in just 30 seconds with the top 10. All right, we are back and heading into the top 10 right off the bat. We've got another Spawn book for you. There we go. Spawn, issue number 5. First appearance of Billy Kincaid. This one's from October 1st, 1992. And the edition that's up is the newsstand, which newsstand editions only made up of maybe 10 to 15% of the books that were printed at that time, which still for Spawn is a lot of copies. But you got to watch out and try to find those higher grades in a newsstand. It's always much harder because if you were a serious collector back then, you didn't go to a newsstand to buy a copy. You went to your comic book store. You got the bags and the boards and the boxes, and you took care of them. And they buy books that you never even read. You buy 2 copies so you could read one and keep the other. The books that were sold on newsstands, nobody cared about. It is interesting that the newsstand made the list on this book. So what we say a 22% increase. This could be also just from one sale, but total sales that are recorded on this book is 185. So it's nothing really to sneeze at on this. Near mints went FMV is now elevated to 21 because of the most recent sale of $24. And there's no other real sales, very fines or near mint plus, but we do have a 9.8 that just sold for 150, also slightly elevating the 9.8. It's kind of funny if you think about it that the first appearance of Spawn, the first appearance of Billy Kincaid in a newsstand edition is selling for more than Spawn number one. Now I know that there are much fewer copies that were sold, and it's also a newsstand. But a 1992 newsstand first appearance of a character for 150 and a 9.8 is not terrible. It's really not. And the reason I say this is if they ever do make a copy, make a reboot of the movie, and Billy Kincaid is a character that is portrayed and liked well, this book could have a nice little bump in the future. But the only problem is it's on the list at the moment, so that means its prices are going to be elevated just because it's on the list. So this is one of those ones you get yourself a little notepad and you check it back in 2 months, see if you can find it. Have you read this issue? No, actually, I have not. I was never attracted to Spawn. I'm sorry, I wasn't. But please, what specifically do you think is put this up on this list this week? What made it hot this week? Uh, I'll move on while you're typing. We have the coming in number 8, the 8, 9, 9. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man issue number 1. This is the prequel to the animated series, which I liked it, and I think Robert just finished watching it. He liked it as well. Um, it was pretty dang good, but I think that this book was printed pretty decently, and people were buying it in advance, knowing that the animated series was coming out. It is trending downwards a little bit, but the 9.8 is still selling now. See, 83, it's selling for 81, and the near mints gone from 11 to 15. That's decent. No, I want to read this. Is a child? Ooh, and one of the victims in this book is. Oh, one of the victims in this book is getting her own series soon. It looks like. I'm willing to bet that the series will end when Billy Kincaid reaches her. There may be a TV show featuring a child who appears in Spawn 5. Ooh, I like that, but is that enough to raise the entire book itself? I don't know. I really don't know. But 2 reasons, and I'm going to try to make sure I get back to that screen. Spawn rumors, movies, reboots, they rarely ever seem to pan out, man. I mean, I like McFarlane, but dang, they rarely ever seem to pan out. Um, 2 is there's been so many shows that have been made that the book temporarily spikes and then drops off the face of the earth. I mean, Paper Girls, Old Guard, Sweet Tooth, even some of the big ones have dropped in value as well. I mean, Walking Dead is nowhere near what it used to be. Um, Sandman is down. Last of Us is down. So is this one character? I don't know. I mean, if the show's really good, it could spike up, but how long is that going to be? 2 years before you see the show? I don't know. Back to this though, because I have to make sure I click on that. Otherwise, I'll talk for 20 minutes and forget the screen. Um, this book has gone up a little bit in the raw state. It's now selling 15 in near mint, 17 in near mint plus, and the sales of the 9.8 slabbed still holding steady at about 81. This book came out in December, so those are probably actual slabs, not just pre-sales anymore, which is good. The problem is that they, like I said, they release those dang episodes too fast. So we're already past the series. Some people are just catching up watching it after word of mouth. But by the time we get season 2 out, it might, yeah, it's probably going to drop down. It's going to fade out of people's interest. It's going to drop down a little bit. So I'd wait on it to buy that if I were you. Yeah. By the way, I also just heard, and this was rather disturbing. X-Men 97 season 2, we're not getting until 2026. Really? I want to watch it. Hurry up. Come on, guys. Get with the program. All right. Next up, we've got the Pop Kill issue number 1. This is the 1 in 10 and from Mad Cave Studios. And it's a cool cover. It really is. But I think everybody saw this one coming. This is the thing. Everybody was able to pre-order it. And I'm looking at like the cover A and the different versions of them. And I see plus 4%, no change, no change, no change, no change. No change, up 1%. The books, all the rest of the books are showing no real increase in price. So to me, this is just another gun honey. And 110 is now selling near mint for 28, which is almost 3 times ratio. But I think people, they bought enough copies of this thing that somebody pre-ordered and pay 40 for it. No, I think this is going to drop down. I think there's just too many. There's going to wind up being too many of these copies. I think I just saw something there. Nope. Okay. So I think it's going to drop down in price and wind up being closer to the $18 to $20 mark, maybe even 15. Geiger issue number 10, second print, the first appearance of Ash Arden. This is the second or third week that this has been on this list. Came out on February 12th. This is again the second print, and it is just about holding steady. I really don't see any difference in price here. It's going down slightly. Near mints went FMV 16, now selling for 14. Pre-sales of 9.8, 60, but no sales since. It's slowly dropping. Geiger is another one of the ones that has a very specific yet dedicated reader group, like Radiant Black. But historically, Geiger books, Geiger books have these long hiatuses where nothing really happens. They don't have a series or something along those lines, and they drop down into almost obscurity and drop down in price. And then they'll have a resurgence for a new storyline, a branch out book or something like that. And that brings a lot of these books back up again. I would hold off until one of the lulls to pick this one up. Next up, we have the Whatnot Marvel Trading Pack 2025, the Red Hulk variant, individually sealed packs with 3 comics. So again, this price is for 3 comics, not for 1. You can buy a sealed box with 9 comics. I never did well with mystery bags, so I just try to stay away from those things. Last sale, it was $113 for a pack with the 3 comic books in them. I'd love to know did any of you guys buy any of these, or are you thinking about it? I believe this is not the first time that they've had these comic trading packs, and I don't think that they hold value really at all. I think there's like once in a while you see a rare variant on the inside, and people buy these packs trying to get that rare variant. But remember, it's rare. So after it gets to a point, people would just say the heck with it and just go out and buy the rare variant, especially after that variant does drop in price. So I'm not a big fan of these, and I don't recommend them. I mean, if you want to drop $100 and have the fun of opening a pack, not knowing what you get, then go right ahead. But me, it's not my cup of tea. Okay, next up on the list. Oi, 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 oi. This is my favorite book on this countdown. Oh my God. Mark Spears Monsters, issue number 1, Mark Spears Comic Mint, Comic Corner, KRS Comics, and Sad Lemon. 4th printing, Virgin variant, limited to 450. Will you look at that cover? That's why I was thinking. I was thinking about this book before when Robert asked the question, what do I think Mark Spears books will be worth in 5 years? If he keeps putting out work like this, he's going to stay very relevant. This is raising the bar on so many things, man. I love this book. Now, do I think it's going to go up or down in price? There's a big question everybody wants to know. Right now, it is currently selling for about $85. And I checked. There's several listings on eBay. The cheapest one is a buy it now for 85. There are no auctions going. There were 4 different places that sold these online. Um, Comic Man, Comic Corner, KRS, and Sad Lemon. They sold for $35 a piece and sold out already on all 4 websites I checked. There are people pre-selling the 9.8s at 185. Now, the $85 one, I think the person has 2 of them, and once those are sold, every auction after that is like 100, 110, 115, 130. So if you really want to get one for 85, like I said, as of right now, at the time of this recording, I think there are 2 copies. And for the 9.8, I think there's 1 copy available for pre-sale for 185 remaining. Also on eBay. These books are not scheduled to release until March 26th, which means by the time these people receive them, it's going to be the first week of April. And if you're buying a pre-sale of a 9.8, please make sure that you buy it from a reputable dealer that has good communication with you, because if you buy it on eBay, by the time this book makes it back from CGC, you will no longer be able to make negative feedback in case this person stiffs you. Okay. Yeah. But again, this might be my favorite Mark Spears cover. Okay. I just, the coloring of it, the smoke with that yellow toxicity. It's beautiful. I love this cover. Okay. I think price wise, what do I think it's going to do? I think it's going to go up. Okay, coming in number 4, yeah, X-Force number 116, the direct edition from May 1st, 2001. Okay, I'm going to read the first appearances because I read them before and I don't recognize a damn one of them. Okay, first appearance of Ecstatic's team. First appearances of Zeitgeist. Actually, I've heard of Zeitgeist. Dupe, You Go Girl. Sorry, Dupe, comma, You Go Girl, comma, Coach, comma, Anarchist, comma, Battering Ram, comma, Gin Genie, comma, La Nuit, comma, Plasm, and Sluck. Who cares? Nobody gave a shit about these characters for 24 years. Now all of a sudden we care about them? Jeez. 9.8 is now just sold for 106, which is actually below FMV. Near mint regulars for 24. No. It's already, the 9.8 is already lower than FMV, but it's on the hot list. 550 total sales. This is 2001. This is a time frame when they were making really crappy comics on crappy paper and overproducing them. Even the artwork on this thing looks horrible. I have no idea why this is on this list, and honestly, I hope I never see it again. I don't know if it's going to drop in price because it's already down from its FMV. It does have a bunch of characters. So if from time to time they do name drop one character somewhere here or there, or it becomes a rumor, it'll just pop this book back up again. But jeez, who cares? Oy. Next up, we have Invincible, number 59. Another Invincible book on the list, guys. Check this out. It's number 59 from 2009. It doesn't say it's a first appearance of anybody. Standard awesome cover on Invincible. Invincible is one of the only covers comics I've seen that really doesn't mind showing the back of a character. Instead of like a side-by-side face-off or something like that. I like the way they do that. They're not afraid to do that. 9.8 selling for $250, way up from the FMV of 165. And the near mint also way up, $30 instead of 24. Wow. So again, I don't see any first appearance listed in this book from 2009, but it is really shooting up in price. It's not the last book because I can see there's a number 60 right here. It is very possible that there is a first appearance in this, but it is just not noted on the CovrPrice webpage. I could try to double check by checking on eBay, see if I can find a slab and see if it puts it in a notation, but I don't want to waste your guys' time. Um, that being said, this book did come out in 2009. It had all the time in the world to go up to the numbers that we're currently seeing, but didn't. So there's got to be some kind of news that has spiked this up. And when that news fades, this price will spike back down. That's just the nature of comic books. Okay, next up, we have another Mark Spears. And this is an ash can. And I didn't see this anywhere, but I know Robert's going to be interested in this. We have Space Ghost / Johnny Quest in Space Quest. And these books are pre-releasing. Well, it says February 19th, but it says pre-release. Oh, that's not the ash can. That's the regular. Okay. When is this actually dropping? Let's check that. If it loads up. March 26th. So in a few weeks, you'll be seeing this book. But the ash can for this book, you can see the Mark Spears and his use of his colors that he loves so much. That actually looks like a really cool cover. I got to give that one credit. The facial detail is really good. It's up 70%. We see near mint selling for $30. Have to discount that near mint plus because that was back on 227. Most recent, $30 for near mint. Very Fine's also selling for $30. Well, if you have your choice, try to get the near mint one, you know. This one actually may continue to go up. Ash cans do have a tendency of holding some value. I know. That's why as soon as I saw this on the list, because I try to look at each one of these books before I go online, start the stream. I'm like, oh, Robert's going to want this one. I mean, even the regular covers are nice looking covers as well. You got a Ken Oliver. You got a 1 of 20. There's a what do you call it? Sketch variant. Bunch of different covers. You're gonna have fun with this one. You're definitely gonna have fun with this one, Robert. And there's a Virgin 1 in 30, a Virgin foil. Ooh, wow. The Mark Spears regular foil. I think I would go with the regular foil. I don't know if I would need to have the Virgin on that. I kind of like it saying Space Quest on that. But the ash cans sometimes hold long-term value just because they are lower printing. So I'm not going to say $30 is a crazy price on this. Especially if the series is received well. Yeah, $30 is not bad. If you can still find it at this point. I didn't have to look it up. It says right on sale March 12th. So keep your eye out. Maybe if you can find yourself a nice $25, $30 copy of a ash can, Mark Spears, Space Quest. That's not bad. And coming in number one, Red Hulk, number one from last week. This is the PX Previews, limited to 3,000. Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to combine Doom and Red Hulk, and everybody's hyped for both of them, and that'll automatically sell the book. Because everybody loves Doom and everybody loves Red Hulk right now. So let's capitalize. Don't need a good story. Oh my God. I saw this and I'm like, I can't believe this. I looked at that picture and my first thought, I'm honest here. My first thought was, oh my God, who drew that? Frank Miller? Wow. What is he doing? And what are they allowing him to do? Jeez. I mean, right now I can honestly say that Frank Miller is the only person that is drawing feet worse than Liefeld. All right, getting back to this though. 9.8 is pre-selling for $173. Near mint selling for $65. Near mint plus for $68. This is a limited to 3,000. Honestly, you can have it. I don't want this book at all. I don't see any reason that this will hold it. I mean, 3,000 is not even that limited. Not by today's standards. Jeez. No, I would rather have two ash can Mark Spears Space Quest for the same price. No way. This is going to drop. Absolutely going to drop. There's no way this holds this price. Comes from out of nowhere up to the number one spot on the list, which means everybody's selling it like crazy. FOMO is going to take over everybody. There's no way this is gonna drop like a stone. I'm sorry. You know what? And I'm gonna segue this nice and simple. My that's at the number one spot. So now I got to pick my boom and my bust. Boom. Okay, here's my bust. That was easy. Gee, 6 months from now, this is gonna be a $15 to $20 book, and people that paid $173 for 9.8s are gonna be very disappointed. I'm sorry. No way. Especially when you get those like limited to 3,000, they try to make sure that they get perfect copies on these things. So there's going to be a lot of 9.8s of this, or 9.8 candidates at least, you know? All right. So that is the list. I've already picked my bust. Now I got to pick my boom, the book that I think is going to, based on current values, go up in price. And or if they're all going to go down in price, then the one that is going to drop the least. Ah, there's a couple here that I think have potential to go up. But I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I saw this list and I saw this book for the first time, the reason I started this live stream 2 minutes late is because I went online and purchased one of these books. Okay, it's true, and I may be wrong. It may go down in price, but I just loved it too much. I had to. So yeah, I got one of the Mark Spears Monsters, issue number one, the Smoking Skeleton. And I said a minute ago when I was looking that there are two copies available at $85 and one pre-sale of $185. There were two available at $185. I purchased the other one. Yeah, and I'm hoping that because I have been ripped off in the past where I had to wait a long time for a pre-sale 9.8, and once a certain time frame passed by, this seller on eBay just stopped responding. I contacted PayPal for a refund, and they said, "Look, it's been 3 months. We don't honor refunds at this point." I said, "Look, he hasn't shipped or anything. This was a pre-sale that he said was going to take 3 months. How do you allow them to sell something 3 months in advance if you're not going to verify it?" So I wound up just straight up losing that sale. I'm hoping I don't on this. I did do a pre-sale on the Mark Spears Monsters number one cover A in a 9.8, and that took a couple months. And that seller was just so Johnny on the spot with communication. I didn't have to ask him a question. Every time there was any kind of update with the order moving through CGC, it was received, it was in grading, it's being shipped out. He sent me emails all the time. He was great. So I'm just hoping that this person is as diligent. And this is the one that I have personally gone and spent the money on. I'm going to look at the others that are up here. I think that Mark Spears Ashcan can go up a little bit. I think that that the Spawn and the Venom Lethal Protector are in good spots to buy this book right now. If you're actually getting a 9.8 on the Spawn for 120, and the Lethal Protector for, I think it was under 100 now, wasn't it? No, it was right at 100 for a 9.8 on Lethal Protector, and the Spawn 9.8 is going for 120. Those are both great prices currently for this book, and especially as Spawn number 5 is going up. It shows there's still interest in these things. Spawn number 1 may follow soon, so keep your eyes open. You might get yourself a nice bargain, and save yourself some money by picking up one of those two books. Again, neither one's going to put your kid through college, but they're going to continue going up with inflation. So that's about it. I want to know, what do you guys think as far as this list? Was it a good list, a bad list? Are you happy with it? Do you think my picks are crazy? Do you think I over emphasize that Smoking Skeleton? Most people will. I'm sure. But as I was going through, I'm like, I love that book. That's my favorite Mark Spears art. No, I was going to say the Action Comics number 1088, the Lobo wanted cover, the 1 in 25. Yeah, no, I like that. I like this Smoking Skeleton better. Ooh, God. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. Tomorrow, I have nothing going on the channel. I will be watching Daredevil Born Again. I think it's 2 episodes dropping. Ah, I'm just I can't wait. And I'm no there's no way I'm gonna even finish season 1, but I have started rewatching Iron Fist. Um, I mean, I've seen the Daredevil series multiple times, Punisher multiple times. Um, Iron Fist is the one that I even saw the Defenders twice. So the Iron Fist is the one that I really had a hard time watching and didn't pay too close attention to it. Um, for somebody that was trained as many years as he was in Kung Fu, he really does suck. Um, the fight coordinator for Daredevil was apparently not available for Iron Fist choreographer. So, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to click like, subscribe, click on those notifications so you know when more videos are dropping. Don't forget to be with us on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for New Comic Book Day, where we can give away some more books for you guys and have some fun. And the way it looks right now, May 17th, Timo Hana, 5th time on Only Slabs. I am psyched about this. Yes, gonna have some fun with this one. Oh, have some fun with all the other 4 as well. Love those guys. All right, guys. I want to say thank you so much. Like, subscribe, notifications, drop a comment down below. Want to hear from you. And until I see you in the next video, mahalo.